You ever open a closet and feel like you're opening a cage? This isn't a story about shelves or shoes. This is about the kind of control that looks like love, until it isn't. Grace is in their bedroom. The space is quiet, refined, an English country garden aesthetic. Elegant, soft, comforting. Morning light filters through sheer curtains, giving the scene a still, almost sacred quality. Grace stands at the open closet, carefully rearranging the shelves. She moves with purpose, calm, quiet, methodical. Then she exhales, stepping back to admire the order she's created. Then,
"What do you think you're doing?"
I was just organizing a bit. The shelves are a little cluttered.
Organizing? You mean messing with my system?
I thought it would help. I wasn't trying to...
You never think, do you? You just act, like a child. You'll learn one day.
this isn't about organizing the clothes in the closet. It's never about what they say it is. A misplaced book, a dinner cooked the wrong way, a closet rearranged. But what they really want is control, over things, over space, over you. The room rests in a hush, decorated in a soft English country garden style. It carries the quiet elegance of floral patterns, muted greens and ivory lace. But in the low amber glow of the bedside lamp, the charm feels distant, like beauty caught in a still frame. Shadows stretch long across the room. The air is thick with unspoken words. Mark lies beside her, asleep, his breathing steady, untroubled. Yet Grace lies awake, eyes gazing into the darkness. Still, quiet. Everything around her is orderly, delicate, serene, except for her thoughts. She exhales, slow, measured. Then she quietly slips out of bed. She moves to the closet, kneeling by the bottom shelf. Her fingers brush over the books Mark had put back his specific way earlier that day. Her hands tighten into fists. No, not tonight. She sits back, drawing in a slow breath. Then she reaches for her Bible, one she tucked behind a row of shoes, hidden but never forgotten. She opens it, eyes scanning until they land on a passage. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. The words settle in her chest like a revelation. This isn't just about Mark. This battle is for your mind. The battle isn't always visible. Sometimes it hides in the small moments, the ones that seem too trivial to matter. But the enemy loves small chains, because small chains, over time, become cages. Grace sits at Helen's kitchen table, a cup of tea in front of her. Helen watches her carefully, sensing the weight behind Grace's silence. What happened? Grace exhales, staring down into the tea. The words feel small, almost ridiculous.
He got angry because I moved some things around in the closet.
Helen tilts her head, waiting, not judging. Grace grips the mug tighter.
It wasn't really about the closet, was it?
Helen nods, her expression unreadable. It never is. Grace meets her gaze, a long pause. Then, Helen slides a small note card across the table. Grace hesitates before picking it up. If you've ever asked yourself, am I crazy, or is this really happening? You need to keep watching. Because the moment you realize it's not just them, it's something darker, you stop fighting shadows. and you start fighting smart. Grace's eyes scan the words on the note card, 2 Corinthians 3:17. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. The words settle into Grace's heart like a quiet answer. She exhales. Inside, something shifts. Maybe, just maybe, she doesn't have to live like this. Grace lowers the card. She looks up. Helen is watching her, then speaks, calmly yet with weight. I remember a Sunday lunch we had once, a long time ago now. The now ex-husband invited a couple over after church service, not to connect, I later realized, but to perform. He spoke without pause. 4 hours of scripture, strategy, our new house stories. Then somehow it all ended with a tour of his closet. He made everyone walk over to see it. Pristine cotton shirts lined up by colour, sleeve length, occasion, all impeccably ironed, all by me, of course. Just the way he liked them. He was so proud of his shirt closet, like it proved something. I wasn't allowed to speak that Sunday afternoon, not even to agree. If I tried, he'd cut me off and rebuke me in front of our guests. Or worse, he'd give me that look. You know the one. The look that says, "You've already said too much." And the worst part? I used to dread when the guests left. Not because I was tired, because that's when the performance ended. That's when the mask came off and the room grew even smaller. I'd dash to the laundry room, pretend I needed to fold something, just to breathe. Not because I was exhausted, because I was choking in the silence. The bruises were never on my body. They were on my spirit. And only the Lord saw them all. And the thing is, he never laid a hand on me. But I disappeared in that house, one compromise at a time. He thinks an highly organised closet makes him a man. I thought maybe, if I ironed his shirts just right, he'd love me softer. But shirts don't fix control. Super tidy closets don't cure the cold silences. So, when you tell me Mark got angry over you organising the closet, I know exactly what you mean. Because mine wasn't about organised closet space or pristine shirts either. It's never about you organising the shelves in the closet. It's about the slow, quiet way they erase you.
I didn't know it then, but God was already pulling me out. One verse at a time. And one day I finally believed him more than I feared him.
The enemy doesn't always come with a sword. Sometimes he comes with a schedule, a system, a smile that says, this is just how it has to be. But God never designed you for quiet captivity. Not in a closet, not in your own home, not in your spirit. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. So let me ask you, sister to sister, what have you called peace? That's really just control in disguise. And how long before you stop surviving in silence and start living in freedom?